So let's be all the way honest. It's already bad enough on the first date. You don't meet the person. Like the person that you're on a date with, you're not meeting them. I'm going to be honest. You're meeting your representative. So on the first date, I want to cut past the butter and cut past all of the smoke and mirrors. Like I really want us to be honest, right? This is part 3, but this is the number one thing that I need you to hold on to. Always be truthful, because when you're not truthful, you wasting your time. My mom always told me, when you tell one lie, you got to tell another lie to cover up the lie that you told before. Stop wasting time.
Man, you are really encouraging me, motivating me, inspiring me. God is really using you to help me out.
Family, you guys are so amazing. It's your boy, Mr. AOS Inspires and AOS the podcast. I had to pause real fast to let you know that this episode is sponsored by Urban Pulse Podcast. They post everything black. I mean, everything black, right? They post the drama. They post inspiration. They post motivation. Everything black that you can get your talk on, if you will. Urban Pulse Podcast, they post about it. We're sponsored by Urban Pulse Podcast, the true essence of everything black. I love them guys to life. What's going on, family? You guys are so amazing. It's your boy, Mr. AOS Inspires. This is AOS the podcast. I'm excited about this. This is actually part 3. This is part 3. Thank y'all for rocking with your boy. How to prepare for your first date. Listen, this week I really want to release some guns, some ammo this week, because the reason I say that is because the intensity is going to get crazy each and every week, right? And I'm going to I'm going to dissect some stuff every week that's going to have you thinking like, yo, I ain't never think about it like that. And that's what I want to do. My whole goal is to bring out parts of a first date, or when you first start meeting the person and you guys start dating. I want to bring out some points that you really don't think about, right? You don't really take in consideration. I want you to take this thing into consideration, because I want you to look for all the people that are single. And when I say single, I'm talking about if you're freshly divorced and you're single and you're about to get back on the dating scene, or you're that person that's never been married and you want to get on the dating scene, or you're the person that's never been in a real relationship and you want to get on the dating scene, or you've been in multiple relationships, nothing has ever worked. I want you to get back on the scene with these tools equipped. Matter of fact, go back and watch all 10 episodes, right? Or all 10 parts to this topic. How do I prepare for my first date, right? And I get it, many of you are not totally prepared for your first date. Why? Because number one, you didn't listen to the first week. The first week is know what you want. Listen, in my opinion, that was the open and close. I could have grand opening, grand close, and I could have closed with that. Like, know what you want. I think that's the most important thing. That's why I made it number 1, episode number 1. I think that's the most important one. And the reason I say that is because so many of y'all don't know what you really want. And since you don't know what you really want, you're dating everything. Right? Like you're spending, like, it's like, dang, she cute. Dang, he fine. Dang, he got money. Dang, she got money. She got a lot of ambition. And you look at things, different nuances to a person, and you think, hey, this is what I want, but you really don't know what you want. So since you don't know what you want, you're entertaining anything, watch this, that looks good. That's a bar. Many of y'all just, it's crazy, because many of y'all are just like, yo, I'm just going after what I think I like. And you really haven't sat down and did the work and did the homework to say, yo, let me write down what I really want into a relationship. What do I really want in a marriage? What do I really want in a person that I really want to spend the rest of my life with, or that I just want to get to know to possibly spend the rest of my life with? Now, when you don't, I gotta lay the foundation down for y'all. When you don't do your due diligence in the front end, it's going to give you a lot of pain on the back end. That's a fact, and that's a bar. If you don't do your due diligence on the front end, meaning if you don't follow these 10 parts and like just really allow this thing to illuminate in your heart, to be like, yo, let me take this into consideration. Like, I may not agree with everything that he says, but the points that he's making, I have to take this into consideration. Because I mean, I think, like I said, I believe that this is number one. If you don't know what you want, you will select anything, and you will entertain anything. Many of y'all have entertained freaks, and I ain't just talking about people that's crazy in the head. I'm talking about freaks that's like nasty with everybody, sex with everybody. Hey, freaks, you've entertained that. Why? Because you don't know what you want. It's just like going to a shoe store, right? And you're like, yo, what kind of shoes you want? I don't even know. I'm just, and you're just looking at everything. Your budget is like $150. So number one, you got to narrow that thing down, because it's like, yo, I only can afford the $150 shoes, right? But since I don't know what I want, I'm looking at everything and I'm trying on every single thing just to see how I like it. Do I like the way it fit? Do I like the way it looks? Do I like the way it feels? Can I put a lot of clothes with this? And I mean, it all depends on your taste, where you are, right? I wish I could show you my wall. I got crazy shoes. But that was week one. Week two, it went great because I was like, yo, just listen. Just listen. A person will always tell you everything that you need to know. I mean, everything. Right? I mean, every single thing. And I love doing parts like series like this, because every week I got a new revelation to the week I had before, right? Or things I didn't say and I wish I would have said. I come back and do a recap. That's what I'm doing now. But just listen. Like I said, one of the analogies that I used was, this is the reason why I'm a good podcaster, because I can ask questions and eliminate the very thing that you don't want to hear and extract the thing that you want to hear. I'm a good podcaster. I'm really good at getting. I'm not nosy. I am nosy by nature, but I'm really good at getting into people's business, and you will tell me all of the juice that I really need to know. Why? Because I listen for key words. I listen for key phrases. I just listen. And that's the same thing that you need to do on your first date. How do you prepare? Just listen. Because on the first date, right, if you did your due diligence on the front end and you know what you want and they align with what you really want, when you have this conversation with them, like a real conversation, you only have to have no questions prepared. Just have a conversation with them, and it'll begin to flow, right? It should begin to flow, and then once it flows, they will tell you everything that you need to know about them if you just listen. That's what I've discovered. If you don't know the art of that, all you have to do is just start with asking them questions of themselves. Everybody loves to talk about themselves. I promise you, from wealthy people to rich people to poor people to homeless people, everybody loves talking about themselves. If they're mentally stable, right? Everybody loves talking about. They love to tell you how they started. They love to tell you. People just love talking about themselves. Everybody can be selfish at times, and all you have to do is just get to the place where you listen. How did you do this? What made you do this? And then they're just going to spill the beans. What happened in your previous relationships? Why didn't it work? Now, you can't go in with the juggler question like that. Like, you got to build up to that. And if you build up to it and make them feel comfortable, they're going to tell you everything they need to know. Now, on this week, this is what we're talking about. Be ready to be truthful. What's going on, family? I know that you're enjoying the episode, but I had to pause to ask you a quick question. Have you ever been through anything in life that was so life-altering that it changed your life forever? I mean, have you ever been and had a job and you lost that job? I mean, your dream job. You lost that job for whatever reason. Maybe you're an entrepreneur. You started a business and the business started off great and then it seemed as if it was going downhill. And now you're at a place, you lost your marriage, you lost your children, you lost some major things in your life. And now you're at a place in life where you're like, hey, this is the end of the road. I don't see it getting better. I got news for you. It will get better. And I wrote a book just for you. It's entitled Winning After a Major Loss. You need to go and get your copy. Go to barnesandnoble.com, go to amazon.com, get your copy right now. Winning After a Major Loss. I promise you, it's going to change the trajectory of your life. It's going to change your mindset. Most importantly, it's going to change your heart about your situation, because I promise you, you can win after a major loss. Go get your copy now. Barnes & Noble's, amazon.com. Order your copy now. Let's get back to the episode. Too many of y'all are going on dates, right? I'm going to peel this back. Too many of y'all are going on dates and you're not being truthful with the person that you're with, that you're dating, or that you're on a date with. And you're not dating them, but you're on a date with them. It's nothing set in stone right now. Y'all not committed. So it confuses me, because why would you lie about certain things while you're in communication with this person? And the reason I say that, because they're going to find out anyway if they really like you. That's a bar. Like, stop lying to people. Say, listen, I'm balling, I'm rich. Because if they really like you, eventually they're going to find out that you're not really rich. And what's going to happen is, when you're not truthful, now they have a sense. They may not fully distrust you, but they have a sense of distrust about you. There's something that I don't fully I trust them, but I don't fully trust them. That's why I say, I tell people this: when you date with intentionality and be truthful. Now, there's some things, I'm going to be honest with you, save yourself. There's some things that you don't need to tell them, because they will never find out. Let's really be honest. And certain things, they'll never find out. And there's some things that you did with people that died. They will never find out unless you tell them. So I'm not saying, just release all of your secrets to a person. That's not what I'm saying, ladies and fellas alike. But what I am saying is, be truthful to how you feel. And the reason I'm bringing this episode up is because a lot of y'all go on dates, especially first dates, and you feel like you have this person figured out. You feel like you have a good feel of this person, but you have not yet felt them out to the degree where you understand them in totality. So what you begin to do is you begin to lie when they ask you certain questions, thinking that this is the answer they want to hear. I don't listen. When I used to go on first dates or dates in general, I did not care what answer you wanted to hear. I'm gonna tell you how I really felt. I'm gonna give you the honest God truth. And the reason I did that, and I learned this a long time ago, right? The reason I learned this a long time ago is because when you tell people the truth, and when the truth comes out, they can't be like, oh, you lied to me, or you held this. No. I told you day one, this is what I like. I told you day one, or date one, or however you want to put it, that this is how I feel about this. Right? And too many of y'all are not leaving room for people to really know the truth about you, because you're lying because you really like this person. I get it. Or you're trying to get some skins. I get it. Or you're trying to make a good impression. I get it. Forget all that. Be honest. Be truthful. Right? Because I'm going to tell you this, and I'm going to go to the extreme. This is really extreme, but this is true. Right? You will want somebody to be honest and be truthful to you. Suppose you met a person and you like, yo, she fine. I mean, cold piece of work, right? And you guys get deep into the relationship, and then you guys have sex. Or before you guys get to the sex part, you ask her, have you ever had a disease? Have you ever had anything? And she lied to you and said, nah, I never had anything, right? Maybe she has herpes. Let's really be honest. And she doesn't have an outbreak. So I don't know how that works. I think that if I was talking to my friend last week, and we just had this conversation about it, but I think that the way it works is, if a person doesn't have an outbreak, and let me clear this up. The reason we was having this conversation, one of the guys that we're on the phone with, he said that this is the level of maturity that he is now. Before, he wasn't at this level of maturity. I would never be at a level of maturity to be with a woman that says, listen, I got herpes. No shade. No, I'm not throwing shots, but it is what it is. For me, I'm not mature enough in this conversation that he was saying that he's mature enough to handle that. Right. I'm just not there. I'm 40 years old, never had a STD scare ever in life. Right? I mean, if you've been following me for a while, you already know I count on one hand my sexual partners. I'm just chopping it up, right? So it's just like that type of scenario where you go on a date and you ask a woman, have you ever had an STD? And she says no, knowing that she has herpes, or knowing that she has some type of disease that can possibly transfer to you. How would you feel about that? And I know some of y'all in the background like, no, you going to the extreme. You should tell her, listen, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't want to get married. I don't see marriage in my future. But yet then you're on a date and you're telling her, listen, I see marriage in my future in the next 6, 7, 8, 9 years. But the truth of the matter is, you don't want to have kids. Be honest. I tell people this all the time. Listen, and I hope you guys take this into consideration. When you are honest with the person, it clears out the smoke to be able to make a clear, conscious decision. Do I want to move forward with this person, or do I just want to leave them where it is? right? Because if they answer one of your deal breakers truthfully, you may can relinquish yourself from this relationship, or before it forms into a relationship, right? Before it goes sour. Many of you can save yourself a lot of heartaches by being honest with both sides. Men and women, be honest. Whether you really like this person, be honest, right? And I've seen scenarios where people have been crazy, brutally honest, and they discover this is not the one for me. Or this is the one for me because I was honest. That's what I want you to take away this week. Be honest on a first date. Be honest. Now, while we're on the subject about being honest, act your budget, act your wage, right? Now, I'm gonna keep it funky with y'all. I get it. I'm a man. I know I can't speak for all men. I know me. I love to put my best foot forward in every single thing that I do. I want to be world class. I want to stand out amongst everybody. I want to be, matter of fact, when I was a merchant marine, matter of fact, I was one of the first ones to have a Dodge Magnum, right? Before they became popular in other cities. I'm not saying I was the first dude to have it, right? But what I am saying is, in my neck of the woods, it wasn't out. It wasn't. Nobody was driving, just like the Cybertruck, right? You'll see it, but you don't see it often like you see a Honda Accord, right? So I always like to stand out. Now, what I want to share with you fellas, act your wage, and that's fine. And that's part of telling the woman or telling the guy the truth. Don't pull up in fake Louis and Gucci and, all this old name brand stuff that you really can't afford. And now you're putting on this persona as if I got it like that. You taking her because any man that's taking a woman out, he want to put his best foot forward. I'm going to be honest with you. Want to put your best foot forward. I get it. Trust me. I understand. So you want to put your best foot forward. However, make sure it's in your budget. Act your wage. Listen, I'm done. When you go on a first date, make sure that you're being honest. Allow them to see you and not a reflection of somebody else. I'm gone. What's going on, family? I want to say thank you for rocking with us during this episode. We have been so excited to drop this episode. I'm glad that you made it to the end. This is what I want you to do. If you have any takeaways from this episode, leave it in the comments. We want to hear your thoughts. We want to hear how you feel. I want to bring content to you that's relevant to you, that'll help you change your life, because you already know our mission here at AOS Inspires, AOS the podcast, is to empower the world to never give up, one conversation at a time, one interview at a time, one video at a time, to help you live life at the next level. This is what I need you to do. I need you to like, subscribe, share this episode. If it spoke to your life, share this episode with somebody. Why? Because you are connected to some people that we're not connected with. And with that connection together, we can empower the world to never give up. I'm Mr. AOS Inspires. This is AOS the podcast. I can't wait to see you next week. Just in case you didn't know, we drop every single week, 3 times a week. Mondays, 8 a.m., Wednesdays, 8 a.m., and Fridays, 8 a.m. You need to catch an episode. Matter of fact, catch all 3 episodes. It's going to be fire. I promise you it's going to help you doing your everyday life. It's going to help you get to the next level. Let's go.